Hi, this is Drew Tignanelli. This is, I hope, a brief update from the last update that we did a few weeks ago about what we see happening in the markets. As we said, Europe is a Gordian knot, and actually it's funny, after we did that, a lot of people asked us, what is a Gordian knot? And it was a knot that seemed to be ability to untie it. It was totally together, and there was no way to untie it, and the hero of the story, I don't even remember who it was, took his sword out and chopped it to pieces, and that's how he untied it. Now, the question is, what happens to Europe? How do they fix the problem? And I believe that ultimately they will fix it, and I think that there are signs coming about now that the European situation will be fixed to the extent that it kicks the can down the road another year, 2, 3, who knows what. The reason I believe this is that there are three options really for Europe. Option number one is to disintegrate and nobody be part of the Eurozone. Everyone go back to their own currency. Greece back to the drachma, Italy back to the lira, Germany back to the mark. That's scenario one. I think it's almost implausible for that to happen. Second is to come together as a total union again. I mean, not again, but come together as a total union, like the United States of Europe, where, you know, there is no Greece sovereign nation, there is no Italian sovereign nation or German sovereign nation. It is a nation of states. Greece becomes a state, like Maryland is a state. And there is one central government in all of Europe. And that way everybody's debt is put into a big pool. That would take years to get that going. So I don't see that as a scenario. The last scenario is the likely scenario, and that is where they eject a member like Greece, or they keep Greece in, but they punish them in the sense that they overtake their finances and do the finances for them until they get in better shape again. And they may take over Italy or Ireland or Portugal. And so they kind of control the bad member states, and they pull together money in a collective pool that they deal with any states that are, or countries that are having problems, like Greece right now. And they figure out how to finance them. That's the likely scenario at this point in time. And if that scenario were to come about, it has pluses and minuses. It could just be another, you know, it's going to erupt again 2, 3 years down the road. But the point is that if Europe can come up with a solution for the short term, even if it's only a year or 2 or 3, the markets could get happy again. And if they get happy again, you could have a nice little rally for a period of time. Not without some stumbling, because there is a slowdown in the economy right now that's happening. A lot of people are afraid of all the regulations that have gone in force. I read a statistic the other day that we've had an 80% increase in regulations that businesses have to respond to since 2009. That's an amazing amount of legislation that businesses are going to have to put up money to figure out or deal with. In addition, there's a tremendous amount of regulation that's being proposed that people are afraid of. Tax increases and different changes in different other parts of the law that businesses are afraid of. These kind of things are keeping the economy from accelerating dramatically. So you could have this just malaise that continues to happen as long as Europe doesn't fall apart. And the final part of the news is that the emerging markets, with the drop in oil prices, the drop in all kinds of commodities, the drop in food prices that has happened in the last month or so, just the last month or so, could provide the stimulus to minimize the rate of inflation in those countries, which then would allow them to loosen up monetary policy and begin to expand their economies again. If that were to happen, you could really get a dramatic rise in certain markets throughout the world because of the emerging markets starting to recover from their trying to slow their economies down to minimize the effects of inflation. the point is that now is not the time for somebody who's not following this on a day-to-day basis to take a lot of risk. The point is now's the time to just keep your money safe. You know, if you think about it, if you just get your money back with the tax deductions you're getting on your 401ks and 403bs and tax-deferred investments, you know, that tax savings alone is a great rate of return until the coast is clear that you're able to make some investments without fears of systemic risk. Systemic risk means the banking system collapses, the monetary system collapses, and that's kind of where we are right now with this Europe situation. So just stay safe and don't worry about it. We've got our positions as safe as we can put them right now, and we'll just wait until the time is right. We've got 30-40% in cash waiting for the opportunity to make an investment when we see the timing right. So for now, this is Drew Tignanelli saying God bless.